Look at this.
Right here, guys. Alright, so today we are on our way to Willow, Alaska for the restart or the true start of the Iditarod. The mushers will go from Willow to Nome within the next like 8 to 14 days, and we will see who takes it this year. Jesse Holmes is who I rooted for last year, and he won last year. He is of course chasing after that title again this year with bib number 7. And I'm also following Jody Potts. I think her bib is 32, but I've been following her as well and wish her all the best. But we are on our way to Willow so that we can go see the start of everything. We did miss the ceremonial start in Anchorage yesterday because we ended up having a sick puppy and had to go into the vet, and we spent the whole day there. But we're going to bring you along, and hopefully we're going to get there early enough that we can go see some of the mushers and the dogs before the race starts. We're enjoying some blueberry bourbon barbecue beef jerky that Derek made as well on the trip. Pretty tasty. All right, so we made it to Willow. We have parked. We are in a field about half a mile away, along with about a couple thousand other people. And we are getting ready to start the walk. I'm thinking about at least a half mile walk out on the main road to get there. But hopefully we'll get there before it gets started. All right, there's our mushing dogs. These are the dogs of the Iditarod.
sound like Pumbaa.
They do. There's the CV's Iditarod racing team. Woohoo!
Careful, bud.
Is this the same?
We followed Dallas CV
Nina, is this Big Lake?
previously as well. No, honey, this is Willow.
Is Dallas winning one last year?
No, Jesse Holmes won last year. Dallas
Okay.
CV the year before.
Okay.
That is so cute.
Look at that.
See the pictures of them making those guys?
Welcome to the starting line of Iditarod 54, bib number 2, the first rookie you'll see in this year's start.
Go!
All right, there goes Adam Lindemuth, the first musher on the trail in 2026, Iditarod 54.
There he goes.
All right, we've got another musher who's going to be coming up and ready to go. This is going to be bib number 3, bib 3. The musher's name is Rome Boozer, out of Big Lake, Alaska. I think I even see his dad out there ready to root for his son to get all the way to Nome and win the race, of course. That's the goal.
Looks like
All right, we just watched the first mushing team take off for the Iditarod. We are actually walking further down on the lake and trying to get a good spot so
5, 4,
we can get Jesse Holmes
2, 1.
and of course the others.
and there goes Ron Boozer. Good luck in Iditarod 54.
Woo!
All right, folks, next in the chute, please welcome bib number 4 from Seward, Alaska, Travis Beals.
Oh.
And there goes Travis Beals, bib number 4.
Woo!
All right, we know how this works. Next up is bib number 5.
Good luck. We're going to be in Iditarod 54.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And with a kiss, he is off. Let's give Ryan a warm welcome and a goodbye.
Woo!
All the way to Nome, Ryan.
All right, moving on to bib number 6. This is the first of our 3
Of the year in Iditarod. A subsistence resident of Nenana, Jesse currently works as a carpenter and TV personality, appearing in Life Below Zero, a documentary television show about the daily lives of people living in remote Alaska. His list of hobbies as running, ultra marathons, hunting, and fishing. He is getting ready to head all the way to Nome.
30 seconds.
In 8 finishes in this race, Jesse Holmes has 6 top 10 finishes. Of course, the champion last year, he was 3rd place in both 2022 and 2024. Total prize money his career of over $236,000.
10 seconds.
Looking to repeat 2025 into 2026.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
All right, let's wish Jesse Holmes good luck on the Iditarod race. Come on, everybody!
Champ Jesse Holmes hitting the ice of Willow Lake.
All right, Jesse!
The host led the
5,
challenge in
4,
2018.
3, 2, 1. Go!
And there goes veteran Jesse Royer
Woo!
from Montana. Good luck, Jesse.
Go, Jesse!
All right, let's make some noise for the next musher coming in. Bib number 15, bib 15, Mila Borso.
Woo!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And there goes Sydney Bale on the way to Nome, Alaska. Good luck to you.
go.
As Joey comes across the lake ice there, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, next up is another veteran.
Go Jody! Woo! All right, we are here. We have been at the start of the Iditarod in Willow, Alaska. And
His 2019
it's nice and chilly.
was
We've watched
in
the first
9
32
days,
mushers go out the
12
gate.
minutes and
And
39 seconds.
there's thousands of people here. It's just a beautiful turnout, beautiful day. Sun came out,
10 seconds.
blue skies and clouds, but some blue skies.
54, and we will see you back here in 2027 in March. Have a great day, folks.
Well, the race won't be easy for the masters of the trail, and some of them will make it and some of them will fail. But just to run that race takes a tough and a hardy breed, and a lot of work done with the dogs that run across the road with whistling speed. We'll give you a team and a good team.
Yeah. Aw, see, those puppies are sad. All their friends. I wanted to go. It was my turn. All right, so we just got back to the truck after watching the official start of the Iditarod from Willow, Alaska. We watched all of the mushers leave. I was able to record, I think I recorded the first 32, and then we started making our way because we walked down onto the lake area. And it was spectacular. We really couldn't say too much while we were there. We had great spots right next to, next to the raceway. We were right by a lot of those that had press badges and people that were taking pictures with professional cameras. But we were still able to get lots of great coverage and lots of video. The mushers literally leave about every 2 minutes out the gate. And so you really don't have time to talk through too much unless you move away from all that. But we were, because of where we were at, we were surrounded by people and we had been given those spots right up to the edge. So I didn't do a lot of commentary during everything. But we got some fabulous shots. We got to see lots of the mushers leave. And it's going to be a great season. There's a few rookies that are out there this year that have a lot of experience, and they are definitely the hopefuls with the Iditarod. And I'm looking forward to get the updates as people make it from Willow to Nome. Like I said before, it takes everybody usually anywhere between 8 and 14 days to get there. And the Iditarod has checkpoints along the way. There's different areas along the path that the mushers are required to take rests for certain amounts of time, and the dogs are given rests, and everybody is fed and all of that. So I know that at each checkpoint there's supposed to be veterinarians that look at every one of the dogs to make sure that they are healthy and safe to keep moving forward on the race. But I'm looking forward to getting all the updates with the Iditarod Trail, and we hope you guys are watching and enjoying these adventures as well. It was nice and chilly out. Right now it's 14, and so it was probably about 10 degrees when we first went out. I have no idea what the wind chill is other than cold. but we had a great time, and was able to talk to just a few people around us just briefly. But we've seen lots of great mushers. People that are writing history right now are on that trail and on the trail again. Good morning. It is Friday, March 13th, and we are getting ready to start the day. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I have already been up, went into town, and came back. So I already ran some errands into town. It was about -9 when I left the house, and according to Siri, it is about -4 right now, so it is warming up just a tad. But we have beautiful sunshine today, and you can kind of see through the window. During the winter, we do not get a lot of sunshine. The sun barely makes it over the top of the mountain before, by the time it hits that spot, the sun is only giving us some daylight for a few hours. Usually in the winter, the sun is coming up about 10:30 in the morning, and then by 2:30 in the afternoon, the sun is going down. You can see the moon by noon. So it makes daylight very scarce. So now that we have some daylight back and our days are getting a little longer, it is so wonderful, because I definitely go through seasonal anxiety and depression with all this. And yes, I've got the stuff, I've got the vitamins, I've got the happy light and all this stuff, but the sunshine is definitely my friend. It's beautiful. I can already tell that Denali is going to be out again today. It was out yesterday, and there were pictures from Alaska News Source that they put out from Anchorage showing it as well. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it out that way, because I have a lot of stuff to get done here in the kitchen. But if I do, I'll definitely bring you along. This morning, what I'm going to get started with is, it's going to be butter making day. For making butter, for those who've watched some of our videos, it was more of a health choice, trying to get healthier with how we were eating and preparing our food. And I have a lot of GI issues, so just trying to be healthier all the way around. This was one way. I've been seeing specialists, and now I see a functional provider. So we're working at getting rid of anything that's processed, anything that has preservatives, or as much as we can. Right now, what I've actually been making butter for over 3 years, and it's actually very simple to do. There's different ways you can go about doing it. What I'm gonna do is use some heavy cream. This is 40% milk fat. You do want a higher milk fat content. You end up with a better product in the end. The lower that percentage, the less likely you are to have a better butter product in the end. But I'm just going to use, this is a half gallon of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to put it in the KitchenAid and let it spin for about 20 to 30 minutes. It'll start separating. I'll bring you along. I have done a video on that before, but I'll bring you along for part of the process. But I have this, so I want to get this finished. Recently, I did a lot of canning, and I still have about 10 to 12 pounds of potatoes to process, so I want to get that done because we want to do some more work in the pantry this weekend. So I'll bring you along for that. All right, so to start the butter making process, I'm just going to take my heavy whipping cream and pour it right into my bowl. And depending on what size bowl you have, I can fit the whole half gallon in here. It will make it pretty full, but it does work out pretty perfect. At least for me, it does. You're going to want to make sure you get it all out of there. Before I open this, I didn't show you, but I do kind of shake it up a little bit just to make sure you get all the cream. All right, and that's all I do. I pour it into the KitchenAid, make sure everything is nice, locked in place, and then I turn it on. And I put it on high for about 20 minutes. It should start thickening and getting ready to separate after 20 minutes. So I'll bring you along and show you that. I'm also going to start right. So the mixer has been going for about 25 minutes. And this is where we're at. Everything is starting to separate. And what it's doing is that heavy whipping cream is separating the buttermilk from the butter. I did turn it down. Usually I have it on high, but just to show you how it's separating, I wanted to turn that down a little bit. I did put this guard up, so that helps a little bit with the splatter. Here in probably about another 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead putting a towel over the top of this so that any excess splatters, that towel will absorb quite a bit of it while it's continuing the separation process. So this next step, I turned the KitchenAid off. Everything is separating very well, but I used a spatula to go ahead. I scraped all the sides and then scraped the one out so that everything is going to separate at the same rate again, rather than have everything separate properly for the butter in the middle and have all this excess on the sides and in the beater. So I went ahead and scraped everything, put it all down into the center of the bowl again. I'm going to turn it back on. I'm going to give it about 10 more minutes, and then we should see this start to separate, where you're going to start seeing the buttermilk come out, and then the buttermilk and butter will start their separation process. All right, so I have the butter almost done in the kitchen, and I also have another task that I'm working through today, and that is I have about 12 pounds of white potatoes to work through and about 5 pounds of red potatoes. I'm going to get these all cut up so I can get them in the canner and then get them into the pantry. Real quick, I do like putting in onions with the potatoes, so I'm just cutting up they're just some white sweet onions. They're actually on the larger side. Right now I'm going to cut up 3 onions. It should work for the first round. The first round will take 7 quarts, so that should be enough for the first 7 quarts. But I'm going to go ahead and get this cut up. I'm going to get the potatoes peeled. All the potatoes are going to be peeled, and then I'm going to soak them in water to pull some of the extra starch out. They will actually set in water for quite a few hours so that I can get as much of that starch pulled out as possible. And I'm going to bring you along for the ride. It's real quick. I am cutting them into strips. You can cut however you want. Some people will cut them into cubes. Some people will just quarter their onions. I'm actually going to cut mine a little bit more fine because I do have some digestive issues, so it seems like if the smaller they are, it's better for me when I add them to my canned goods. But you do what's right for you. Add whatever size you want to. I am not an expert at all. In fact, I'm still fairly new to canning, but we can all work and do it together as a team. And if you have any information, any tips that you'd like to share, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and finish getting these onions taken care of, and then we'll go check on the butter. Okay, so we're coming over. We're going to check the butter. It is starting the separation process. You can see the milk in the bottom, that's the buttermilk, and then all these little crumbs that kind of looks like cottage cheese, that is the butter separating from the buttermilk. So it's just going to be a few more minutes before we have ourselves buttermilk and butter. And I'm going to go ahead and set a towel, drape a towel over this to collect some of the splatters that are going to take place. Like I said, it's not going to take care of everything, but it will take care of a good portion and help with the cleanup. All right, so we have all the potatoes cut up, and I had them soaking for about close to 2 hours. They soaked, and that just helps remove some of the extra starch off. Don't mind the puppies barking in the background. Our trash man is here, so they're all getting excited because he's here right now. But the first round of jars are getting prepped. With my canner, I can put 7 quarts in at one time. So I've got 7 quarts. These were hot jars, and so far what I have in there is about 3/4 to a cup of sliced diced onions, and then I fill it, I stuff it with potatoes that are all peeled and cleaned and such. And then I put a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme in each one. Next, I'm going to wipe each jar rim to make sure there's nothing left behind. And then I'm going to put the lids, yes, I'm going to put the lids on in the bands, and then we're going to get them going for the first round. All right, and I have all the lids on. I'm going to put bands on, just finger tight. You don't want tighter than finger tight because it can compromise the seal. And then when I pick these up, I will tighten them just a little bit more because I'm just using one hand right now. And the water that I poured, I don't think I mentioned that before, but I poured boiling water on top of the potatoes as well. And these are being raw packed. And I'm going to get ready. I'm going to put these in my canner, which is over here. And this is a Presto canner, 23 quart. I can put 7 quarts in here at one time. And I'm going to go ahead and get that loaded up. And you do want to make sure that the temperature of the water in with your potatoes is similar to the temperature in your canner when you're putting them in there. Otherwise, you can cause those jars to break. All right, we're going to finish getting this done and then give it a start. Okay, and as I said before, I have a Presto 23 quart canner. I have 7 quarts in the canner right now. And for these white potatoes, I am actually at sea level. So I am waiting for my gauge to hit 11 pounds of pressure. It will go at 11 pounds of pressure. Once it hits 11 pounds of pressure, then we'll start timing, and it'll be 11 pounds of pressure for 40 minutes. I just turned the stove on. It is going to take a little bit of time to get there, but as we get closer, I'll bring you guys back along to show you the rest of the process. Not for straining, but I just set this. It's double thickness, so I've set that over my jar. This is just one of your canning sieves. I just put that, press that down, and I'm just going to pour it in. This is going to separate any little chunks of butter, and it will only let the buttermilk pass through, and that will collect in the jar, and then we'll use that. Most likely I'll either make some buttermilk biscuits or some buttermilk pancakes in the next couple of days so that we can use that up. All right, so we'll let that continue going through. And then when this is done, I'm just going to put the lid and the ring on it and put it in the refrigerator, and it will stay fresh in the refrigerator for quite some time actually. But this will be less than a quart, so we'll end up using this probably within a week. But that is what I do to separate the buttermilk from the butter. And then I'll bring you back to the sink and I'll show you what I'm going to do to finish off the butter as well. Okay, so we've got the buttermilk in the jar, and then I just put a lid and a ring on there. I always label what's in it with the date that I'm putting it in the fridge. So if you can see, it says buttermilk 3/17/26. And I'll put that in the fridge, and then we'll end up using this within the next couple days into some goodies. Got it. All right, so I removed the beater attachment from the KitchenAid, which has our butter clumped in that. I'm going to take it out of the beater and place it into a bowl, just a clean mixing bowl. And once I have that in here, I'm going to fill the bowl up with ice cold water. And then I'm going to knead it. Just like you knead dough, I'm going to knead the butter. And I'm going to keep repeating that process and intermittently emptying the water out, adding fresh water. You're going to want to do that until your water is completely clear. You don't want it cloudy. What you see that creates that cloud is any residual buttermilk that's still left in your butter. You want to get as much of that out as possible because it will make your butter last longer. So that it doesn't spoil quicker. So that's what we're going to work on now. And it comes out of the beater pretty easily. Like I said, it's pretty solid at this point. And also, if you have any little pieces of butter that were left over when you strained your buttermilk, you can add that at this time. And right now I'm still hoping for a little bit of sunshine today. We've been having some really nice sunshine here in Alaska. Right now we have some clouds and a bunch of wind. It has warmed up though. It's 11 degrees. So that feels wonderful compared to what we've been having. We've still been having a little bit of those negative temperatures, especially at nighttime. And then it warms up into single digits or sometimes into the teens right now. But quickly, we're getting more daylight, more sunshine, and hopefully springtime. But our Hatcher Pass up in the mountains, that won't open until probably sometime in July. And because of the amount of snow on the pass that's there, so it won't open till then. But right now, of course, that's only like 40 minutes from our house. But one of our favorite places to go up there. But we still have a chance of snow. We have a chance of cold weather pretty much until May. Last year on June 1st, I went out to the garden area because I wanted to plant my seedlings, and the ground was still completely frozen. So we had to continue growing in the house. I want to say for about 2 more weeks after that before we were able to put everything into the ground where we're at. So this year we've planned ahead for that. I started the seedlings a little bit later than last year just to hopefully cut down on how long they have to grow in the house, because we definitely want them growing in the ground. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and add some cold water. Again, we have well water and it's extremely cold. I'm just putting it in to where it's just barely over the top of the butter. And then I'm just kneading it, just like you would knead bread. And as you do that in your bowl, the water turns cloudy, like I stated before, and that's that residual buttermilk working its way out. And that's what you want. You want as much of that to come out as possible. Sometimes I'll replace the water 5-6 times before it comes out clear. And sometimes it may take more than that, depending on how well your butter is separated from the buttermilk. I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this until I have all of the buttermilk worked out of the butter, and then I'll show you how I package it. Ripped off 2 pieces of parchment paper into squares, and I'm just going to place one in each square. Also, I should add that when you are doing that, when you have mixed up, also I should add, if you want to add anything to your butter, I do not add anything to my butter, and that's just a preference that I have. So my butter is unsalted. I have done salted butter. As soon as you rinse your butter and you are getting ready to separate it, form it into balls, that's the perfect time to add whatever you want to add to your butter. If you want herbs in your butter, or if you want dried fruit or salt, that is the perfect time to add. You will do some research into how long those products are that you add. How long will they last before they might make the butter go rancid? So that's something to look into when you make your butter. Mine, like I said, I'm making unsalted butter right now, and that is a preference, and that's mostly because we add so much salt during the cooking process when we're cooking food. And if we have something we're adding butter to, almost always there's salt being added to the recipe as well. But we have added other things. We've added different types of salt. We've added everything bagel seasoning. You could add pretty much any kind of spice you want to. Just do your research and make sure that you preserve it correctly to the specifications for the product that you're adding to your butter. Now, once I wrap the butter, like I said, I wrapped it into some rectangles, and then I'm just using a quart size freezer bag, which I already labeled. And I labeled it butter unsalted, and then I did put today's date. For butter, I just put the month and the year. But if you want to put the full date, you do it. Do what's right for you in your kitchen. I used to do it like that, but then we were using it up so fast that I just started putting the month and the year. But that's what I do. And then this is about, it was not a full half gallon of heavy cream that I was using, so this is just a little bit under 2 pounds. But I'll put it in the freezer and it will save for a long time in the freezer. Okay, so I finally finished the remainder of the potatoes that I had to process. Total, we had just about 65 pounds of potatoes. They are all processed. I ended up with about 64 quarts, and everything was peeled except the red potatoes, the red potatoes were still cleaned very, very well. But I did leave the skins on the red potatoes just to give them a try. I love red potatoes as well. And this is my first time canning the red potatoes with some of the skins. But all in all, we ended up with about 64 quarts of potatoes. I'm pretty happy about that. We're still working on our pantry, and we'll pop some pictures in here of that as well. We're working on putting in some new shelving, or new to us shelving, so that it will better accommodate all of these canning jars. But that was what we ended up with on our potato canning journey this time, which should be good. That should get us through the next few months quite well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And there she goes. Hannah Lyric. Let's give her a good send-off. Way to know that there is still so much to learn. Veterans know so much about this race that it's not even funny. So they will be learning as a rookie. Here it is.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go, Joseph. Come on. Give him a round of applause.
Two, 1, go!
Good luck, Josie. Heading down the trail to Nome. Give her a round of applause. And there he goes. Good luck, Richie. Richie B heading down the trail.
There he is.
Yeah?
There he is. He's just coming into Nome.
Okay.
So he's just over 3 miles away from the finish.
Yeah, that means he's done.
scratches and rubs.
Of the year in that Iditarod. A subsistence resident of Nenana, Jesse currently works as a carpenter and TV personality, appearing in Life Below Zero, a documentary television show about the daily lives of people living in remote Alaska. His list of hobbies as running, ultra marathons, hunting, and fishing. He is getting ready to head all the way to Nome.
30 seconds.
In 8 finishes in this race, Jesse Holmes has 6 top 10 finishes. Of course, the champion last year, he was 3rd place in both 2022 and 2024. Total prize money his career of over $236,000.
10 seconds.
Looking to repeat 2025 into 2026.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let's wish Jesse Holmes good